I can never get this camera to stand up right. And by camera, I mean my phone. Okay. I think we're good. Hi, it's Kales. I'm just here because my objective for today was to get into the beginning of my mental health as well as my ex's mental health and the beginnings of those that have transpired into our lives and are still present today. So I'm not going to say anyone's name. Some people know who I'm talking about, some people don't, but I will not be giving away names, and I'm going to try to keep it as anonymous as possible. Yeah, I definitely like the camera over there is kind of awkward to look at. Okay, so I'm going to keep this under 4 minutes. His story. I met this guy at school. Kids, ladies, stay in college, do not chase a man. I promise you, you will regret it if you don't. I chased a guy and not a degree, and I regret it deeply. Anyway, so I met my ex, and I actually immediately hated him. It was kind of a funny story for another time, or maybe never. But we were together, and we were together every single day for, I think the first night we spent apart after we were together was like a year and a half into our relationship. Granted, I lived at home with my mom, and he lived at home with his mom and his stepdad. So, sorry if you can hear my dishwasher running. So it wasn't really easy to always sleep over or whatever, but even if I didn't sleep over, my mom, I think she had a rule. I could have him spend one night a week over, maybe two, but I think it was one, and then his parents gave us like 2 or 3. I can't remember. So but we would see each other every day, so somehow or some way. So after like 9 months or so, he started acting really weird, and a lot of people that are bipolar or schizophrenic or any kind of mental illness kind of in that arena, not like depression and anxiety, but the bipolar and schizophrenia arena, they tend to, see, now I'm talking to this side, I swear to God. They tend to hang on to things like religion, because faith in God or Allah or Muhammad or whatever faith you are, I don't care, I'm not discriminating, but for someone who is bipolar, the thing is, there's no one can prove you wrong, right? Because no one knows. We know what the Bible tells us, or the Quran, or the Torah, or whatever, right? But as explained by a doctor to us, the reason that he was hanging on to religion is because you can't fight that. So people with that kind of schizophrenia, bipolar business will cling on to things that aren't necessarily provable. Like, I thought of something else last night that I was going to say, but religion was his thing. Right, and he believed he was the Antichrist. I shit you not. And then he got on his meds, and he got released from the hospital after 2 weeks, and things were great, and I'd cleaned his room. Oh my God, it was disgusting. So, sorry, I'm adjusting crisscross applesauce. But I cleaned his room and everything, and he would write, like, all we found was, like, numbers, and he would just add up numbers and write. Have you ever seen the Jim Carrey movie 23? It's scary as shit, and that actually sent him off into another psychotic break. Anyway, so when we got him home, you know, we were really vigilant and making sure he took his medications and all that. The problem is, this goes for a lot of people, not just mental health, like even antibiotics, right? So you're supposed to take them, but the second you feel better, sorry, I'm doodling. The second you feel better, you feel like you can go off your meds, you're healed, right? That's why people don't finish their antibiotics, which, by the way, I know a biochemist, and he says that it's creating a new superbug that is impervious to the antibiotics we have, because people don't take all their antibiotics, and 10% of that like stays in your system, like the virus, and it's growing into like a huge virus that we will have no cure for. Happy Monday. It was like, I was told that and I was like terrified. Finish your antibiotics. Anyways, and once you feel better, regardless of the situation, you tend to go off medication, right? Let's say you have, we're not going to talk addiction on this one, but let's say you have, you know, you broke your, you threw your back out, right? They might give you muscle relaxers. They might give you, you know, a prescription for an opiate-based pain reliever or whatnot, right? And if you feel better and you're not an addict, you'll stop taking them. And a lot of people will just keep them in their medicine cabinet, especially people where they have like an ensuite, like a bathroom within their bedroom, because you feel a lot safer putting it there. Like it's not in the bathroom a guest could use and just easily go through your cabinet, because I know people have done that before. Like, or opened the mirror. It's a common thing. It happens. Like, I always just like to see if you have smelly soaps. No one's going to invite me over after this. But, I mean, it's natural to kind of be like, oh, I need a hairbrush. Or, oh, maybe there's a bobby pin in there. Or, do you have dental floss? Whatever. I'm going to stop myself there. But he went off his medications multiple times because he felt better. Every time he would do so, it would take not too long. Some of the medications have like quite a good half-life, meaning like the effects can be, you know, they're strongest at one point, but it can last for like 18 hours, even though the peak is at a certain point. So he stopped taking his medications. We ended up putting him in the mental hospital 5 times. The last time he came out of the mental hospital, he had actually fried his brain so bad from going off his meds so much that he never came home to me. Like, he was there, but I'd have to beg him to shower. He would lay on the couch. He would play video games or whatever. He wouldn't work. He wouldn't, I mean, I worked from home and I cooked him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would have to like do everything. And that's when I decided that it was time to get a divorce, because I could not live for 2 people. And I was trying to work and grow up and be an adult, and I just couldn't be with someone who's constantly fighting me on it and going off their medications and stuff. So it was really frustrating. Families, I know the struggle. I know how hard it is when you have a bipolar or schizophrenic person that doesn't want to take their medications. You know, you really should talk to your doctor if that's the case. Or, you know, if they get so psychotic or something, I mean, you call an ambulance, or drive him to the emergency room if he'll let you. Sometimes, like one of the times I went into a mental hospital, they actually cuffed me in the back of a cop car, but I wasn't resisting going. It's just, it's procedure. You have to handcuff the person in the back of the police car, but you can call the police and they can help you safely transfer someone. Anyway, so that's kind of the intro to his story and the intro to how I can help you on the patient side or on the family side. Okay, now I've got about 5 minutes to tell you about myself. I started taking, as someone called them, I will not call them out. They called them my crazy pills at like 15. I have been through some of the most traumatic things you can imagine. I've stared down the barrel of a gun like 3 times. Once a gun was put in my mouth. One time someone, again who will remain anonymous, when I was locked in my bathroom at my house, brought out a rifle, and cops were called because I was so scared and I needed to get out. Any hooser. Yeah. So my depression and anxiety started young. I was sexually abused when I was 9, and after that there were a slew of other abuses, if you will, verbal, emotional, physical, not sexual assault. That didn't happen again until later, but I had a really hard time. So when I moved back to California with my mom from Massachusetts, I was able to take my medication. I was doing better, and I would go on and off of it myself. I'm not gonna lie, and I didn't always have insurance. Sorry, I just didn't have it. So I can't afford, a $300 drug for 30 days, for a 30-day supply. I just couldn't do it. So then I got into programs, and I tried to do anything. You can fill out stuff. If you go to the websites of these drug companies, you can fill out like a thing so they can help you afford it. I know a lot of people are upset about the American, I can't remember, Obamacare, let's just call it that, and the GOP bill or whatever that's coming. And I gotta tell you, I'm one of the people that's scared, because without health insurance, I won't have access to my medications, and I have PTSD, social anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I may be bipolar, depression. There's 10 different kinds of bipolar, so I might have that. And basically, some days I'm afraid to walk out of the front door of my apartment. Just what it is. So I'm working on it, and I'm trying, but that was kind of my intro. And then I steadily, after my now ex-husband, but when we were together, I started taking my medications. And I also started my journey of not being able to sleep. I'm an insomniac. It's really hard to knock me out, and it's really hard for me to sleep, and it gets really frustrating to me and really upsetting, and yeah. So that was kind of my beginning. I just knew I was depressed. I was in a really bad place. But then I moved to California. I was with my mom. It was a really nurturing environment of let's get you help, let's talk to doctors. They got me in with therapists right away. So I started taking medication. As I said, I went on and off because there was drug abuse at some point, and I obviously wasn't worried about getting, the stuff for my depression. Why would I pay for that when I could pay for dope? You know what I mean? So that was just kind of how that came about. I only have a minute left. So this is just like kind of the intro to both sides, my ex-husband's side, so my dealings with that, and then also my beginning. I will also be going more in depth on those issues as this channel progresses, but I'm still trying to figure out the flow, so bear with me. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love it if you subscribed to my channel. I'm really trying to get to 100. You can find me on Snapchat.
You can find me here, and you can find me on Instagram, all under the name below, KaylzBB. KAYLZ, B as in boy, B as in boy, and I will talk to you later.